And now, another poetic moment by Alan Bradford.
Welcome back. Well, on today's poem, Proceed with Caution, I am talking about nature. Now, the one thing about nature that most people don't take into consideration, and I actually witnessed this problem, is that they think, well, just because something in nature is cute, cuddly, interesting looking, very slow, whatever, that somehow it's perfectly approachable and you can grab it whenever you want to. Problem is, most wild animals are not that way. Now, the thing that I witnessed was late one night. I worked at Burger King, 1 o'clock in the morning, got out, and right outside our door was a fox. Now, yes, foxes are cute. But you don't want to approach a fox. They do have a problem with carrying rabies, and they have a tendency to turn around and bite you. And that's how you get rabies. So, this was something that is always a problem. Now, me being into nature photography, I respect and understand the animal's distance, keeping a safe distance. However, not everybody is into that. And this fox came around all the time because people would sit there and throw onion rings out the car, trash, whatever, and the fox would come around just to grab up whatever food it can get. It was Burger King. You had hamburgers. So, needless to say, these girls that worked there, they were from Mexico, and that's not saying anything about Mexican. That just happens to be what they were. But, yeah, they started calling to it. They said, "Come here, come here." I told them not to do that because if that animal happens to bite, they could get rabies. It could attack them severely. It could be, well, you know what I mean. In other words, be cautious when you're around nature. Be respectful of nature. And these are wild animals. They don't know anything about humans except for humans are something to fear, and fear causes attack. And so that is what I'm talking about with this poem. Just be cautious. Now, the photograph I took a picture of was a snapping turtle. Not always the fastest animals in the world. No, in fact, they're pretty slow. But they also get very large for a turtle. And they get about 18 inches, which is larger than a large pizza pretty much. And I've seen the really big ones. The one in the photograph was pretty small. It was young. Probably a few years old. But, yeah, you don't want to get them mad. Snapping turtles, if you get them mad, they have a massive reach on that neck. And when they bite, it's not something simple like, drawing a little bit of blood. No. They could actually take fingers off if they want to. They can crush arms. They can do a lot of damage with that mouth. So needless to say, you don't want to mess with a snapping turtle. Now, the reason why I was able to get so close to a snapping turtle, and I even took pictures almost in his face, was because first off, I understood the problem with a snapping turtle. About that neck, about striking, I was pretty much expecting to jump back in a moment's notice. I didn't lay down for that picture. But I was also not touching it, and I was very respectful of its space. I didn't make any jerky movements, anything like that. And so I was pretty safe. Although there were some kids coming around, they could have gotten attacked if they wanted to play with it. So that's about it for that. That's why I took the picture. Just to remind me to be cautious around animals. They could turn on you in a second. So, don't forget to leave topics for future poems in the comments down below. And to see the text and the photograph, the link will be in the underground. Although I'm probably going to start putting the poems down below too. But on my WordPress blog, the photos, you can actually click on the photo and see a bigger image, a lot clearer, and I think it's a lot better. So that's about it. Thank you, have a nice day, and enjoy. Now it's time to say goodbye from APB-148, and I would like to thank you all because you were really great. I'd like to invite you back tomorrow to this locality, but I think I better sign off now because I really gotta pee.